Well, good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Tech Chit Chat Show. If you are new here, my name is Ken. You can find me on Northern Viking every day and Northern Viking Explorer on YouTube. I am here with my amazing co-host, Stephen Loney on YouTube and 8-Bit Warrior on Twitter. Good day, Mr. Stephen. How are you today?
Good day to you, Mr. Ken. It's a great, beautiful, sunny day.
It is sunny. It's so
It's
sunny
nice.
that my neighbor's cutting his grass and the garbage trucks are out and making lots of fun noise.
That's okay. I may have some of my own noise here too today, so
Yeah.
Yay. But it's a beautiful day. It's a beautiful day.
Potato chips and cookies.
Well, I ate the cookie. But I do have coffee. So cheers.
Coffee. Oh, cheers. I like that mug. Cheers. Is that the Polar Express mug that I like to use when I come to your house?
It is. And I figured you'd say something about it. And you did.
It's because winter's coming. It's time to use the Polar Express mug.
That's why I got my sweater, my nice sweater on today, and I'm ready for it.
So, as you just said, it's super sunny out and
yeah, so. And this room might get warm that I'm in, so I might have to take this off, but we'll see.
Let's see how many lights you have that the room. So hey, we have some guests today. Welcome, Cody. Thank you for watching from partway across the country. We appreciate it. If anyone else is out there, say hello. We like to say hello to you. If you haven't joined us before, again, this is the Tech Chit Chat Show. Stephen and I, we love to get together and talk about tech. And we used to do that in coffee shops. And now we try to do it online, and we can share that with you and have you involved in our conversation. We don't claim to know everything. We know a little bit, and we just like talking about tech. So new and trending topics that are out there.
Yeah. So, and before we start, I like to say again, if anybody would like to buy our coffee, you can buy my coffee or Ken's coffee. And we would like to play with the idea of getting like a post-it note and put your name and say, John bought our coffee today, or
this coffee is sponsored by Cody.
Yes.
It's not. So that didn't happen. Sorry, Cody. But you did say hello, so we do appreciate that.
So we'll notice that.
It is sponsored by Cody's Hello. Yeah. So you have a good weekend?
Yeah, it's been good. Yeah. Good. Again, every time you ask me how my weekend was, I don't remember it, but I think it was good.
It was good. Yeah. We went down to the lake on Sunday. It was cold. So just hung out, did some stuff. I got my GoPro.
Oh, you did?
GoPro 11 Black.
Nice.
I haven't opened it yet.
Okay. You're going to be doing an unboxing for that soon? I
am. And so it came on. I was supposed to come yesterday, so I wasn't, because I'm going to do some videos and stuff on it. And so it was supposed to come yesterday. So I was like, oh, I'll start working on that today. And then it showed up on Friday, and then it just sat on my desk all weekend, which is sad because I did want to play with it.
Right.
GoPro 11 Black. I ordered it. I think it was Wednesday they came out, and it showed up on Friday, and it'd come all the way across the continent. So They did a really good job on the shipping on that.
Nice.
And yeah, so I'm excited to play with that. It's got some new features in it that are going to be fun to check out. So
I'm looking forward to your review. I'm hoping to see the low light, how it does with low light situations compared to the previous one.
Maybe I'll try and compare it with the 10 as well. I know we've talked about the rumors of this the last couple of weeks, and then it came out. So
nice.
Yeah. There's a funny tweet that came up this week that I wanted to. I know I already showed you this, but I'm going to pop it up here because it is kind of funny. So I don't know if many of you know who Dean Nimmin is. He's a YouTube creator, awesome YouTuber, so you can check him out. But he posted a couple of tweets this week or in the last week that were kind of funny. This one, so I know you've all done these things, find the traffic lights or whatever to log in. This one was click the image with the adult cat, and I saw this. I was like, okay, that's ridiculous. I'm not really a cat person. Some of them look like tigers. And I'm just like, I don't know if I would get this one.
What's weird to me is the adult cats in these images look like they're all AI generated. They don't look like real cats to me.
They look creepy.
They do. They do. Like, sorry to whoever's cat they are, but I don't think they exist. Because they have like these really, it's like the photo, you know, like that meme of the guy with the big chin, like the very manly chin. That's what these cats look like to me, but like the cat version.
The Jay Leno of cats.
Well, no, not Jay Leno, but like the Superman chin, just like the chiseled. And this is the cat version.
Gaston.
Guess the male cat. The male adult cat here.
Yeah.
Please select the female cats.
The other funny one was the one he posted before that was click each image containing a teacup with similar porcelain designs. If this is the case, I'd never be able to log into anything again. The ones I hate are those, the spelling ones. Like,
oh yeah.
It's like a JL264 or whatever.
And they tried to
and they blur them a bit and turn them, and you're like, okay, you just turned it, so now I'm not sure if it's like
a 7 or an
what
L.
letter it is. Yeah. Yeah, 7 or an L, exactly. So kind of fun little tweets going on there. So I appreciate that from D Niman over there on Twitter. Sushi report.
Yeah. Where are we at?
It is $1.43 today. And so it's down from last week. It was $1.58 Canadian. It is down to $1.43, but it's up 1.06% today. So we're not promoting sushi. We just follow sushi.
Yeah. Ken made a poor choice of investing in some sushi coins. So we're going to follow that, right?
Yes. Well, it wasn't very much. It was the equivalent of a coffee.
Yeah.
But now it's equivalent of a gumball.
Good job.
Good job. Yes. Sushi. Just for reference, I think it was over $10 when I bought it.
Oh, wow. So it's really come down.
Yeah.
So you don't advise investing in some of these alternative crypto coins?
No. And I don't even like sushi. Like, I think I get sick when I eat sushi. So I don't know. It's just anything sushi does not work with me.
Yeah. Well, we're going to be bringing up more crypto coin in this episode. What's our topics for today? What are we going over?
So we are going to be talking about Portal ray tracing.
Yes.
The game Portal. EVGA, GPU, Bonanzas for GPU shoppers out there. Uber breaches, rumored PS5s, some Microsoft Game Pass news, and that's about it. Whatever else we can come up with during our episode, we'll talk about that as well. So let's dive into it.
Yes.
We talked for 8 minutes and 30 seconds, and we haven't even started yet. I guess we talked about some kittens and stuff.
We talked about some adult cats.
Yes.
And
Portal with ray tracing.
Yeah.
This is a pretty cool thing. You sent me this morning. That's how we plan things. We leave it to the last second.
Well, this one, because we weren't going to talk about this one, but this came up. Like, I saw it posted from NVIDIA like 2 minutes ago when we started this morning. Mm-hmm. And I was like, all right, let's talk about that, because I like Portal, and this looks cool.
Yeah. It was this came up, and what I saw was like the results were actually pretty amazing.
Yeah.
Hello, Flying Ace. I'm going to say hi to you. Thanks for joining us today.
Hey. Flying Ace.
And he's saying that the trailer looks really good. So I think he's already had a look at this. So let's jump over. I'll bring up the article here that we have. So Portal with RTX reimagines Valve's classic with full ray tracing, NVIDIA DLSS, and NVIDIA Reflex.
Yes.
And from what I'm seeing here, so I don't know if you want to talk about this, but the one point that I saw, so there's a couple of interesting things. They're actually talking about the 40 series graphics cards. That was one thing that, like, oh no, it's not just rumors anymore. And we know it's not rumors. We know it's coming.
Yeah.
But NVIDIA's actually talking about it.
Right.
That was one thing that hit me kind of. And the other thing is this NVIDIA RTX remix that they're talking about, that allows modders to remix older games, basically importing them and letting the AI remix
do its thing.
do its thing. I'm gonna let you talk about this in a second, Steven. I'm just gonna slide this slider back and forth. So RTX off.
Yes.
RTX on.
Wow. I mean, it looks good. It looks good.
It looks good. Okay, I'll let you talk because
that isn't even the most impressive screenshot. So to start, I want you to scroll down one more to the next one. This right there, RTX on and off. This is actually more of the biggest difference because transparent.
So that's off.
Yeah. And what's tricky here is see the red button there, what you step on or you put the crates on. See how there's kind of that glow in the middle?
Yeah.
Transparency in computer graphics is tricky when you're dealing with like multiple layers of transparency. It's not so easy to deal with. So this is where when I saw that, I'm like, oh, that's cool. So they've remodeled the so it's not just RTX on. They've also redone textures and redone 3D models as well. Yeah. So this is not just an RTX on flip a switch. A team has done their work to redo a bunch of stuff. And that's one of the assets that caught my mind is having that transparency added to that button. So the light with the RTX goes through properly. And those are effects that are not easy to achieve with more conventional graphics. So yeah, this morning seeing the trailer and stuff, like, yeah, I agree with Flying Ace. The trailer looks good. And this makes me want to go back and play Portal again with RTX on. And
so there is a video, YouTube video here. The link is in the description if you want to check that out. But it's pretty neat stuff. They're also talking about the lighting going through the portals.
Right. So if you shoot a portal, and the one screenshot had that, and you see the light coming through it, which right there, see the blue portal. And move it over to the left. You can see the light coming through the portal, and that excites me because like this is like actual good use of ray tracing. This is not gimmicky, in my opinion. This is like actually cool
because there's nothing there, and then all of a sudden it's coming through.
You're getting cool. Other environments affecting other environments with lighting, and this could actually create new puzzles with lighting with portals, and you need to use this could actually introduce new game elements if it was redesigned from the ground up. It won't in this case, I think, but something exciting that I'm happy to hear about is that anyone with Portal already, if you already own Portal, you get access to this for free. So there's no special edition you have to buy. Will be a free.
So do you need a 40 series card though to do this, or will this be?
I imagine this will work with anything that's 2000 series and newer. But of course, it would work best with the 4000 series and all that. But I imagine, and I don't know about the DLSS 3 enough, but I'm going to imagine that's still doable in the 2000 series.
Yeah.
And they did also mention the Reflex. So the NVIDIA Reflex is to reduce latency. So between the time that you move your mouse or input and something happens, it's just quicker. And I've heard in the past that DLSS, maybe just the first version, could introduce some latency. So I don't know how DLSS 3 works with latency. So I'm wondering if Reflex is there to kind of is it to offset any latency introduced through that process? I'm guessing. I haven't looked into it, and I could be giving bad information. But overall, this just seems like a really cool use of the technology. It seems like a really good move from NVIDIA to use this as a selling point and project to really highlight what their technology can do. So
and I think the timing, especially with the 4000 series coming, it's all the timing is good as well. So is that an airplane flying over your house?
You know what? I don't know what started. Something upstairs has. I may have to mute myself.
It's all good. It's all good.
It's all good. All right.
It's all good. We'll just deal with it because I'm gonna have a garbage truck any minute, and my neighbor's gonna continue mowing his lawn. So.
I think somebody is vacuuming upstairs is what's happening, and it.
Gotcha.
Picked up, so it's okay.
It's all good. It's all good. So, any other things you wanted to say about the Portal and ray tracing?
Yeah, it seems like a really, really good game they've decided to work with to highlight their technology and with what they're trying to do with that AI, the remix. I don't know how ambitious they are, but saying, yeah, like they're using words like dropping games into it and it like redoes stuff for you automatically. I would want to see more in what they're doing.
Yeah.
Yeah, because whenever someone's like, you just do this and then it does it automatically, I'm a little hesitant to believe all the claims. And even with RTX, it was like you just push a button and it's on, and it didn't seem to be that easy because back in the day, even EA, who makes Battlefield specifically, they put RTX into Battlefield 5, and they had it 2 or 3 weeks after the fact that they were still struggling with like getting things properly, and it wasn't just RTX on. So we'll see, but nonetheless, Portal looks really cool.
Yeah,
I want to play
looks like a modern game. So
yeah.
So that's that. There's some other GPU news, which is actually pretty big news.
Yes.
EVGA is exiting the GPU market.
Right.
I was surprised to hear this. EVGA, well, here in Canada anyway, like it's one of the common GPUs that you will see in Best Buy or Staples. And they've decided to leave the GPU market. So they had, what's his name here? Let me look. Tom's Hardware has been reporting this, and ARS Technica. And the company's CEO, Andrew Han, sat down with YouTuber Jay's 2 Cents. I know we've talked about him before on this channel, and Gamers Nexus in a closed-door interview. And it's really interesting. They've been struggling. It sounds like they've been frustrated with NVIDIA and when they receive information, and basically not receiving information until basically too late for them to make proper business decisions. So they've decided to pull out of the GPU market. They will continue to sell the GPUs they have from the 3000 series and support those. But there won't be any 4000 series GPUs. And I don't think there'll be new 3000 series GPUs coming from them, as like once they're done kind of thing. So pretty big news, pretty big shakeup. And they also say that they're not gonna, I mean, things could change, but they're not gonna switch over to AMD or Intel GPUs as well.
It seems like the biggest thing that I got from the article was that they didn't know the pricing of their own products until everybody knew. And
yeah, it was basically and then feeling undercut by the Founders Edition cards and different things like that. So
I mean, if I was a partner, I would actually appreciate knowing what the price was going to be for a product I was making beforehand. Like that seems,
you need to know, like, you're making the product, you need to know the cost before you start to develop it.
Yeah, like, are we going to make these things and then lose money on it? Like,
So pretty big. I think that's pretty big news because they sell a lot of GPUs. And
I would like to wait before making any judgment on it to hear. Like, I haven't looked deeply into it. I'd like to hear more from NVIDIA's side eventually to know, like, is there more to the story? I would rather not just jump on EVGA's side and be like, they're right. It'd be nice to just kind of wait and let things play out and see what is going on.
For sure, to hear both sides of the story. But I mean, I'm not, when I say that, I'm not throwing anyone under the bus, but it is definitely big news. So Flying Ace, definitely sad news. Have always went with EVGA. Like it's definitely a brand I look at all the time too. When I'm pricing out stuff, it's one of the ones I go to and look at for sure. So,
and they've usually been, maybe I'm wrong, but they have been one of the more affordable partners. Like they usually make ones that are more budget friendly and stuff like that.
I would agree. And I think that's, like I said, at our Best Buy, I was in there maybe a week or two ago, and the GPUs they had, I believe they had a couple of 3050s and some 3090s, and they were all EVGA that they had. So, I think that it'll be interesting to see. And are other companies going to put a foot down as well? Maybe it's just them putting a foot down, and they'll come to an agreement down the road as well.
Yeah.
So, but that all being said, there is a bonanza for you GPU shoppers out there.
A bonanza.
A bonanza. Did you ever go to Bonanza, the restaurant? Oh,
no.
That was awesome. As a kid, I used to go to Bonanza. They had like a salad bar and a meat, and then you get your meal, and it was like.
It sounds like an old thing. I feel like
it was right by your house, like where you live.
No. What, back in the 80s?
I think they were into the 90s as well, maybe.
Maybe. I don't remember them.
Yeah, I don't remember that far back.
I don't remember the weekend either, so you don't take my word. Yeah.
Yeah. There you go. So the end of Ethereum mining could be a bonanza for GPU shoppers. And there's been some. I'm not really into crypto other than my couple dollars worth of sushi coin, which has gone bad. But there was a Ethereum merge, I believe, recently.
Yeah.
And things have changed, and now there's an influx, a massive amount of GPUs being sold off.
Yeah.
For cheap prices.
Yeah. So this is we've already been seeing some, like, I think it's mentioned in this article, there's already been people trying to sell off tons of GPUs beforehand, seeing this coming. Those who knew that it was coming have already been offloading mass amounts of GPUs, even like a few months ago and stuff.
Yeah.
But apparently, I think if I'm correct with the Ethereum, it's been supposed to be merging for a long time, and it kept getting pushed later and later and later. So some may have thought that this even may have been like a false, merge again, as it may have been for a number of years. So, but now at last it's finally happened. So that reduces the need for all of the power hungry processing now.
Yeah.
So, I mean, this is good.
Well, it's good if you. I mean, this tweet is interesting. GPU flood is here, and it's showing photos of just stacked up GPUs.
Yeah.
3060 Ti is going for 300 to 350 US.
Yeah. So I mean, if you want to play RTX Portal to RTX now, because to get into that year ago to pick up an RTX card, it wasn't a good idea. But like, I mean, with all this going on.
But even I mean, that's the problem. You don't know how long that card's been used for. 300 to 350 is on the steep side, in my opinion, for a mining GPU.
Yeah.
Like, when you look at prices on GPUs for a 3060 Ti, I mean, that's definitely cheaper, but I feel like they should be $200.
What I think is, if you play the market right, though, I think these are going to lower the pricing on all GPUs in general. And as long as you keep your eye open for a reputable seller that is actually selling you not a totally messed up card for mining, I think you can still benefit from the flood of GPUs without having to actually get one that was actually used in mining. And even then, I'm not even sure how bad mining will actually hurt them. Like, it's debatable. I would prefer not to have one used in mining, but I wouldn't consider it the end of the world if I did get one for a good deal. I'd be like, as long as it works.
Yeah. I think that's more how worn out is it? Like, if it's, if it's going to last you 5 years and work fine, then it's not really a big deal. But if it's going to crash out after 3 months, then
I wouldn't advise it for companies who need or people needing reliable hardware. But if it's for weekend gaming and stuff like that, you know what? If it works, it works. But if you're having to do like actual work on them, I may not advise getting something that could be not as stable. And
So if you don't want to go the used route, hey, Newegg has so many extra GPUs that is bundling them with free monitors. So if you need a monitor, you might be in the same ballpark as a used one. If you buy a GPU and get a free monitor versus a used one, because they had some good deals. You got a free 24-inch 1080p gaming monitor when you buy a 3060 for $399, or a 3070, you got a 27-inch curved QHD monitor when that was $599. So
wow.
Yeah. So maybe if you're buying a monitor as well, that might be the better option for you.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, is there also like a ton of monitors too? Is there like, like seriously?
Yeah. Yeah. So that's pretty crazy. Like from where we were a year ago, where, you know, people like, I bought my 3060 from it was brand new with the receipt, but I had to go buy it from someone privately up in the mountains somewhere. And to where we are now.
Was it some shack somewhere up in the...
No, it was not a shack. It was like a mansion up in the hills above Vancouver. So
meet me in the mountains.
Yeah, no, it was like definitely a nice house worth probably a few $1 million. So to where we are now, where you can buy them for half what I paid and have your pick of whatever brand you want. So
so now you can find it from the guy in the shack, because now he can sell them too, because now he
because he just bought them
affordable now.
He bought them off eBay.
Yeah.
The GPU powered one. So, well, I think that's enough GPU talk. We're gonna move on to something different.
We don't talk.
I know you have a story about this.
I do have a story about this.
About the Uber. Well, so do you want to tell your story at first, or let's talk about the breach? Let's look at the article, and then then you can tell your story. So
sure.
So there's been an Uber breach, and it was reported that it's an 18-year-old who hacked Uber. Somehow he got the credentials from an Uber employee, and he, from my understanding, got them to click on something where then he was able to, I don't know, remotely log in, and he was able to get through the whole system.
Yeah.
And
it appears that he was in communication with somebody in the company through WhatsApp or somehow, and was able to basically get information out of them. Yeah. And then was able to use that information to get in. Like, it seems actually really simple of how it was done. And does raise some concerns about security in companies in general.
Well, and then he was in their Slack accounts posting that they've been hacked and stuff in the Uber Slack accounts and stuff. So pretty big breach, like sending messages to all sorts of people and that. Now, here's my question, and this article doesn't talk about it. I've used Uber a couple times in the last month. Should I be worried? Like, should I be resetting my password? Should I be
I don't know. It depends. Again, it depends on what information he had access to, what parts of the system. Don't know. But it's not good. Regardless, it's not good. I mean, if you have anything sensitive, but if it's not sensitive information on there, I mean, I guess the worst case scenario is he starts buying Uber rides on your credit card or something. So maybe you should change it. But
I haven't seen anything from Uber. I mean, it's probably, they might have a statement, I don't know, but I haven't seen anything from Uber whether we should be switching our passwords and doing things like that. So
even if there is a statement that says don't worry, I don't always know if they're telling the truth. It's like, ideally,
with any company, so
and I say, if you ever have sensitive information, just change it. Your information, I'm not saying that people can't be trusted, but I'm saying is I wouldn't put total. I'm not always sure that that's what the truth is.
And then so when Uber Eats starts showing up at my door that I didn't order, that's probably So
so this ties
kind of leads into your story.
So this doesn't surprise me, because about a couple of years ago, I got an email through one of my email accounts, not my main one, but like a secondary email account. And it's like, thank you for your Uber Eats order. And I'm like, I didn't order Uber Eats. And I thought it was just a spam email, like a fake thing. But I actually went to the, and I could see a receipt. It was for like, was it Chinese food or some kind of like noodle dish or something, like some like a noodle shop in Vancouver. and it was being delivered to this place, and I could see the receipts. And I even went, so I thought maybe it's just fake. So I actually went to the Uber Eats website, which I don't have an account with. And I actually tried to register that email. Like I wanted to see if it was actually used. And I put in my email and it says this email is already in use. And I go, oh, this is legit. Someone actually has used my email for this Uber Eats. Now, it wasn't my credit card. I wasn't losing any money, but they were using my email address. What was going on? So here's where it gets weird is at that time, I was a courier in the Vancouver area, and the address to where the food was getting delivered to was the same place where I had done a delivery, I think earlier that day in Vancouver. And that location has a tech company that was a neighbor to the place I delivered to, like this technology company that you don't really know is there. Yeah. And so my suspicion is that the guys in that company actually hacked into Uber and were, for the fun of it, or doing it to prove that they could. So what I'm getting at is I think Uber has potentially had security issues already. And I tried to contact Uber. I couldn't. There wasn't a way for me to really do anything. I have no account. Yeah. And it's on them. It seems like they have an issue. So I think, so this is where it was weird, is that was actually happening. Someone else was using my email, and it seems that they got it from me somehow by me just being within the vicinity. They somehow used my information. And my Wi-Fi wasn't on. All I had on was I had data cellular and GPS. Yeah. But my Wi-Fi was not, no NFC. My NFC was off, and my Wi-Fi. So it seems that company was able to get information from my phone to be like, we're going to use your email and then use it. And I feel like they were using it for fun. That as a tech company, they could prove that they were doing this. No money was taken from mine, but it was really weird. So when I saw this, I'm like,
that's interesting. Yeah. It'll be interesting. I'm glad that, of course, you weren't like scammed monetarily.
No.
But it's still weird when that happens. So
it felt like there was exploits being done for fun, and because they could, but that just shows there may have been vulnerabilities. My email is used on Uber Eats. I never made the account, which means they had access to my email somehow then to confirm it for Uber. Weird.
Who knows? Yeah. That's crazy stuff. We'll continue on. I appreciate the story, because that's it's always good to be aware and cognizant of what's going on with different accounts. So PS5. Neither of us have a PS5. My nephew has a PS5. It's the first PlayStation I haven't bought in a long time. Partially because I game usually on my PC now if I game, but I'm considering maybe getting one down the road.
Okay.
So the PS5 there's a new rumor that next year there'll be a slim PS5 with a detachable disk drive.
Right. I think this is the way to go. This just makes sense.
The report is that September 2023, so a year from now, there's potential for a new PS5. I do like this. I think, I do like I do like disk drives. There's something about having a physical copy of something. And I would say I'm probably not the only one. There's a reason why there's a lot of game collectors out there who buy up games. And it's a hard copy of something. You can buy, sell it. When you buy a game digitally, you can't sell it. And when you buy a hard copy, it can gain value or lose value, but like it's more of a collector's item. So I like the option of having the disk drive. There is rumors that you will be able to use that disk drive with the original version if you bought the one without the disk,
right?
And you'll be able to replace it if it breaks. So
that makes sense. That just makes sense. So rather than having to like return the whole thing. So your disk drive broke in the future, you just buy an external disk drive and you're back up and running. Because the drives do fail, and external just seems easier for Sony to deal with, like long term. Do that.
Yeah, it might be cheaper for them warranty wise as well.
Oh, exactly.
Like,
because if you have to send in the whole thing for a dead laser, you got to send the whole thing, and otherwise it's just shipping just the external disk drive, which is going to be cheaper.
And then it'd be super cheap for them. They don't have to open up. They can give you a brand new or refurbished one versus shipping the whole thing. I think that's I think back of previous generations of PlayStation, and I think they all had a slim version. I know PS2 and PS3 did. PS4, I think they slimmed it down a bit.
Yeah, kind of.
But yeah, I'm not sure the PS4 wasn't as big and drastic, I don't think, as like the PS2 went from the huge thing down to that slim one.
Yeah.
So, and they usually do that a few years out after it's released. So I kind of tend to believe this rumor.
Yeah.
It'll be interesting to follow that story.
A part of me though is like, I kind of want like, this is weird, but some kind of like a 3.5 or 3.25 inch, whatever it is, hard disk module for it. Is this weird? I think it'd be so cool to be able to like buy like PS5 games on like a floppy disk and to put them into like, like because you can, not because you should. I think it'd be. I would actually like that, to have like this kind of retro scene where you can buy legitimate, officially floppy Sony or console games.
Yeah.
Who's going to do that? There's going to be like 1 or 2 developers out there that I have one in mind who would consider it. But anyway, that's just me being a nerd. And so.
Yeah. Well, would you consider buying the PS5, a slim version?
No.
I'm
out of, as far as consoles goes now. Yeah, I'm kind of out of console. If I get any console, it'll be the Switch, and then my PC and Switch is kind of what I would do. I don't have a Switch right now, but if I do get one.
Honestly, the game that I missed one of the games I missed the most that I wish was remastered or rebrought out, or I don't know, a new version of it, was the original MotorStorm. I love that game.
I know. Imagine that with RTX on. Come on, let's go.
Yeah. I just, and you know what? Like with the Sony bringing games to PC, like Uncharted's coming to PC.
Right.
I maybe we'll start to see some of that. Like,
by the way, I saw MotorStorm on the PS3 again recently. Like, it was turned on here. One of the kids here was playing it. I'm like, that still looks good to me.
Yeah.
So I'm like,
I love that game. That was awesome.
So I'm like, this is from like really old, and this still looks good. And do I have games not gotten much better in the last years? Am I?
It's funny you say that though. I think a lot of games have actually not gotten better. I think they've been overthought. In my personal opinion, I think the earlier Battlefields were better than the current ones. The earlier Call of Duty's, the earlier Call of Duty's were better. MotorStorm, the first, like the original, and Pacific Rift, I thought were better than Apocalypse.
Yeah,
I think that's what it was called. I feel like they try to add something new and they go too far on a lot of games, and that's just my opinion. So I don't know. It'll be like, sometimes I wish they did actually just more remastering rather than trying to reinvent the wheel.
Push it so far.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But it's the same, like Tony Hawk. Like, I know we both played that. I'm really hoping that the remastered version of the 3 and 4 comes out.
One of the troubles might come with those developers who've made the game, and then a second time, and then a third time, they may not want to make the same game as a developer. It might be it might be a studio issue where the team doesn't want to do it again.
Yeah,
and So that it's more than just what the market wants. It might be just the mental strain of, I don't want to make a third thing again of this. Right.
Yeah.
And so that might,
yeah. No, I
if
hear
you see
you.
it that way. Yeah. But
yeah. Flying Ace has a interesting tidbit. I haven't looked into this, but he's saying apparently the Uber hacker was the same guy that hacked Rockstar.
I have a suspicion. Flying Ace, are you the hacker? I see what's going on here. It's Flying Ace. That's how he knows.
So yeah, that would be, I mean, that's that kid, 18 years old, if that's the case, has some interesting skills. So continuing on though, on the PC side of gaming.
Yeah.
I know we had a quick chat about this. Microsoft PC Game Pass now lists how many hours a game takes to finish.
Right.
So
you and I were kind of talking about this beforehand, and kind of
we were kind of conflicted. So it'll show you roughly how long it takes to beat the main story, the main plus extras. And if you're a completionist, I think that's if you're trying to find every little gem or diamond, we'll call it. And then there's an average, which is all styles. So just a good little feature if you're buying a game and you're trying to get value for time. Or and you said you didn't like this.
Yeah,
to me anyway.
Yeah, like no, I'm not against it, but
okay.
A part of me is I feel like I'm kind of hypocritical in a way though. A part of me, but I hardly play games anymore anyway. Part of me wants it to be a mystery of what I'm going into. Like, yeah, I have a rough idea, but I kind of don't like it being like, yeah, it'll take you this long and this long. And it's like, okay, yay, put me on a roller coaster. Like, I kind of want to play in a style and not have this preconceived notion of what it should take. I kind of want it to be a mystery. I want there to be this unknown of. Yeah. Does that make any sense?
I understand. Here's an example where I think this is like Uncharted. I like Uncharted, but I want to know if I'm like how much I'm investing. Am I investing 60 hours or am I investing 15 hours? So that's where I like it. Because maybe you don't have 60 hours to invest, but you have 15 hours. A weekend isn't 60 hours long. That's the problem.
Yeah.
But it is 15 hours long.
And I guess, okay, so checking the hours, I hope, okay, so Cody's bring up Cody's comment. So I'm going to push back on Cody. So Cody says, I'd rather know if a game takes 100 hours or 10 hours. So Cody, I'm going to push back with this question. If Bethesda Games comes out with a new like RPG, what's your guess? You know it's not going to be 10 hours long, right? You know it's going to be like 30, 40, 50 plus. I don't know.
Okay, but let's look at it this way. So Game Pass, if you're just, if it's included with your Game Pass, you're probably not as worried about it. But if you're spending $80 on a game that takes you 3 hours to beat versus 100 hours, you might feel like if you beat the game in 3 hours and you're like, and it wasn't a high quality game to beat it in 3 hours, you might have reconsidered your decision.
I mean, if you know that, so if I didn't, it'd make more sense if I didn't know the track record of the company. So say I had no reference of the company before. It's a new IP, new company, and it looks cool, and I have no reference. Sure, that kind of maybe makes sense. But if I'm going into an established IP, an established company that's already set kind of a standard for what they do, then I wouldn't really want to know as much because I already kind of know in general. But I don't want to be given a number of here's how long. But then I'm kind of a hypocrite because then I'll check like movie lengths. I'll check how long a movie is before I watch it. So
that's so you can go to bed.
What a double standard, Steven. Come on. Huh?
That's how you'll go to bed on time.
Yeah, right. So,
well, we clearly didn't check how long Interstellar was before we went to see that in the theater.
What a great experience. What a great movie that was.
I think that was 3 days long.
It just keeps going.
Yeah. Set aside a whole day if you want to see that movie, Interstellar.
And then it's funny because my Daniel, who's my brother, he likes to watch that movie again and again, and so we'll watch that multiple times. And so,
well, we were at the theater. That's one movie. Okay, they should warn you not to buy like the massive soda before you before you go to that movie. Like they need an intermission in that one. So
yeah, but it was good. It was good.
Yeah, so I'll agree. I like that one. So
yeah.
I guess that kind of winds down the PC or the Game Pass talk. We do have a question of the day for those of you watching right now or down the road or listening on the podcast. Would you play Portal again for RTX?
Yes.
Your answer is yes?
It's yes. Well, I don't actually have an RTX card at the moment, but it's a tentative yes.
Well, I have a deal for you on an RTX card.
For free?
No, not for free. I can give you a link to a crypto miner's reseller.
You're not going to give me your Ethereum blasted GPU?
No, my sushi coin GPU.
Yeah.
No. For me, honestly, I'm going to be honest here. I've actually only played Portal minimally.
Yeah.
Okay. But this actually makes me want to try it. Like actually play through it.
If you own it on PC, if you don't, it's cheap. It's something that I think now that you're into PC gaming, I actually suggest Portal through the PC anyway.
Yeah.
Now that you're into it, I actually say that could be a really good introduction to Portal. Is with that to try it. I think it'd be a cool experience.
I feel like I played it a little bit on the PS3. Is that where it was? I believe.
Yeah. I think that's where you did play back in the day.
Yeah. So, but I didn't just minimally played it.
Yeah.
So I would try it. It looks, especially those textures there look amazing. So, leave a comment if that excites you or not.
This may be a good time to say again what happens at 100 subscribers, Ken.
100 subscribers. We're getting closer. At 100 subscribers, we will upgrade this beautiful streaming that we are able to offer you to 1080p streaming. We are going to be upgrading the service we pay for to be able to stream like this and share screens. Stephen and I are at 2 different locations. It makes it a little bit more difficult to do this sort of thing, and we want to upgrade to 1080p for you with the software that we use. So if you are not subscribed, please do so, and we'd really appreciate it. Flying Ace has a comment here, so definitely check out the second Portal after. The humor and writing is super good. It has a larger narrative. So I have
100%.
Have you tried that one, Stephen?
That is it is better than Portal 1. I completely agree with Flying Ace. It is one of my favorite games of all time.
Okay.
Absolutely. Yes. So Portal 1 is a good starter, and I'm hoping that they will do an RTX version of that one as well, because it is definitely a meatier game. And yeah. So if you like Portal 1, you get into it. Portal 2, yes, even better.
Cool.
Yeah. So
cool. Yeah. Unless there's any other thoughts, I guess we can start to wind down the show. Did you have any more you wanted to say there, Stephen?
No, nothing that's really coming to mind. I'm looking forward to getting back on a roll here. We've started to get more into a consistent thing with shows here, and I'd like to just continue this and build up a community. And
yeah. And we do appreciate your comments. It helps us with this stream.
Yeah.
Do you have, I don't have a lot of information on 40 series cards yet. Do you, Stephen?
Nope, I do not.
No. So
we'll have to wait and see on that one.
I see this comment. I'm not sure what the specs are. But I'm sure we'll be talking about it more in the future. So
I'm only pushing about 8 T-flops in my computer right here now. So about 10% of that number, but I'm happy with that. So
yeah. So we do appreciate all of you joining us today. We hope to be back next week. We try to stream on Tuesdays around 10:15, 10:30ish Pacific time. So come join us. You can listen to us on your favorite podcasting platform as well. We are on pretty much all of them out there: Google, Apple, Spotify. You can even watch us on Spotify, Twitch, and Facebook.
Yeah.
Thanks
even on
for
Facebook.
Watching. Even on the Facebooks, yeah. So we appreciate you all joining us today. Until next time, cheers.
Cheers. Take care, guys.
Cheers and take care. Bye-bye.